All right, let's talk big money. We're about to count down the 10 largest economies that are really going to be shaping our world in 2025. So, who do you think is going to come out on top?
But what if I told you that this list has a few surprises? It isn't just the usual suspects. And there's one rising giant that's now running neck and back with a major established powerhouse. Seriously, some of these numbers might just catch you off guard.
Okay, before we jump into the countdown, let's make sure we're all on the same page. We're ranking these countries by something called nominal GDP. Really, it's just the sticker price for a country's entire economic output for 1 year. It's the simplest, most direct way to measure just how big an economy is. All right, time to get into it. We're going to start our journey at number 10 and work our way up through the first half of these global economic contenders. So, kicking off our list at number 10 is South America's biggest economy, Brazil, coming in with a GDP of about $2.13 trillion. So, where does all of Brazil's wealth come from? Well, a huge part of it is fueled by its absolutely massive natural resources. I mean, it's a global leader in exporting everything from coffee and soybeans to iron ore. And while services are the biggest slice of the pie, it's really the country's farms and mines that are powering its economic engine. Moving up one spot to number 9, we head up north to Canada, which has a GDP of roughly $2.23 trillion. Canada is a really fascinating mix. On one hand, its huge service sector is the dominant force. But on the other, this country is an absolute titan when it comes to natural resources. It actually has the world's 4th largest oil reserves, creating this really powerful combination of modern finance and raw energy. Coming in at number 8 is Italy, a true cornerstone of the European economy, with an estimated GDP of $2.42 trillion. Italy has such a unique economic identity, doesn't it? It's not just about tourism. The country is an absolute powerhouse of high-end, high-quality manufacturing. I mean, think Ferrari and Lamborghini, luxury fashion houses, and of course, they also happen to be the world's largest wine producer. All right, next up at number 7, we've got France, which boasts a really diversified economy valued at approximately $3.21 trillion. France is one of those countries that just seems to excel at everything. It uses its culture to its advantage. It's the most visited country in the world, but it also leads in high-tech industries like aerospace with Airbus, and it's the European Union's #1 agricultural power, a real economic triple threat. And rounding out the first half of our list at number 6 is the United Kingdom, with a very formidable GDP of around $3.84 trillion. So when you look at the UK's economy, one thing just jumps out at you: the sheer dominance of its service sector. A massive 80% of the economy is driven by services, and the financial hub of London, all that banking, insurance, and capital, is really the engine making it all go. Okay, we've made it through the first 5. Now it's time to step into the ring with the true heavyweights. These next 5 countries make up a massive chunk of the entire world's economic output. And here's where things get really interesting. We have a virtual tie for the number 4 spot. Both Japan and India are projected to have a GDP of right around $4.19 trillion. It's really a tale of 2 different giants, right? You have Japan, the legacy powerhouse built on advanced manufacturing, think Toyota and Sony. And then you have India, the rising force powered by its booming IT services and just massive domestic demand. Holding strong at number 3 is the powerhouse of Europe, Germany. Its economy totals an impressive $4.74 trillion. So what's Germany's secret? Well, it's all about that export-driven industrial might. That term German engineering isn't just a cliche. It is the absolute core of their economic identity. It's what makes them a world leader in exporting cars and heavy machinery. Now get ready for a monumental jump. At number 2 is China, with a colossal GDP of over $19 trillion. That's more than 4 times the size of Germany's economy. Yeah, we're in a completely different league now. China's economy is just a behemoth. It's still the world's factory, making more steel, electronics, and cars than anyone else. But here's the thing, it's also changing fast, with a surging tech sector and things like e-commerce and AI that now makes up about 10% of its massive GDP. And finally, at number 1, with an economy larger than the next 4 countries on this list combined, we have the United States, topping the charts at an incredible $30.5 trillion. So how does the U.S. stay at the top? It's all about incredible diversity and innovation. It's dominated by world-leading services. Think Silicon Valley tech and Wall Street finance. But it's also a manufacturing and energy giant. In fact, it's the world's largest producer of oil and gas. Seeing it like this really puts the whole global landscape into perspective, doesn't it? The gap between the top two and everybody else is just immense. The United States and China are truly in a league of their own, completely dwarfing even the third largest economy, Germany. The scale is just staggering. So there you have it, the full list for 2025. The big takeaway here is the clear dominance of the US and China, but also the different ways countries build their wealth, from resource-heavy nations like Brazil to service-driven ones like the UK. And, of course, you can't ignore the rapid rise of emerging players like India.
This is the map for right now. But the world is always changing, right? With new technologies like AI and renewable energy poised to reshape entire global industries, it leaves you with a really fascinating question. What is this power map going to look like in another decade?